guys, my name is Annabelle from Horizon Cosplay, and if you didn't already know, I own and run my own Etsy shop. Over on Etsy, I sell some of the cosplays I make, PDF patterns on how to make cosplays, I also sell vintage patterns and some 3D prints. Anyway, I've been running my shop for about a year now, so I thought in celebration we'd take a moment to do this video. Now, I've been on the internet a while and I've seen a lot of these videos pop up recently where people react to some of the weirdest or funniest comments that appear on either their blog or their YouTube channel or Instagram or Facebook page, and I thought it'd be a nice twist to this to react to some of the weirdest messages I have received on my Etsy shop. Now, all of these messages are real and are actual messages I've received, however I will obviously not be giving out any names because I'm not that bad of a person. I'm also going to say right now that I have definitely paraphrased a few of them because some of them were just way too long to read out loud. So let's discuss how ridiculous some of these messages and requests have been and why I and other small business owners get really annoyed when you send them to us. To be honest, I find that these comments often fall into a few different categories, so we're going to be taking it from the top with
the influencer. Hi, I'm a vintage sewing person on YouTube and I really want your most expensive factory folded Vogue pattern for my collection. Don't worry, I'll use it in a video, but I'm only going to tag you in it if you let me have the pattern for free. And no, I'm not going to pay postage either.
Okay, so this annoys me for like several reasons. Firstly, because I do and have done collaborations like this in the past. I'm definitely not against them, but through doing these various collaborations, I've learned a few things. Firstly is that people who send me messages like this, especially if it's in a very informal way, are notoriously unreliable and will likely never post anything or tag me in anything even if I do send them the pattern for free. The second thing that I've learned, and it's just really a personal preference here, it annoys me when someone tries to justify their following as a reason I should give them something for free. I wouldn't walk into a hotel and say, hey, I'm a travel writer and so you have to let me stay here for free or I'm going to give you a bad review. It feels almost like a threat, which isn't great when you want to partner with someone. And the third thing I've learned is that every single one of these messages that I've had, every single person has had under 1,000 subscribers on YouTube or 1,000 followers on Instagram. And quite honestly, don't take this the wrong way, but it often isn't worth my time. Now again, I have done several of these partnerships and collaborations, and that includes with people with under 1,000 subscribers or followers. But mostly it's because I love their work, I love what they do, and I've reached out to them to say, hey, I've got this thing, it goes really well with your content, would you like me to send it to you? You can use it, just make sure you tag me in it. So the moral of this story is that if you do have a small but growing YouTube channel or Instagram page or Facebook page or just anything really, and you do want to collaborate, I'm not saying no. What I am saying is that there are much better ways of going about it. For one, and this is an open offer to anyone who shops in my shop, if you buy a product from me, plan to use it in a video, and send me a message saying, hey, I would like to advertise your shop because I really love what you do, is there any chance of getting a discount code for my followers? 110% yes. I have had 3 people do this, and every single time I've been asked, I have given a discount code, and this is secondary to the fact that Etsy, believe it or not, does actually have an affiliate program. Now, I've never partaken in the affiliate program myself, however, it is there, I do know about it, and if you do want to advertise my shop to your followers, you can sign up to their affiliate program, giving you a monetary gain every time they buy something that you recommend. If you have a big enough following or an interactive enough audience, I think that you could easily make your money back on more or less anything that I sell, so that's really a 2-win situation. Really, Kat? You're just gonna sit outside the window and stare at me. And last but not least, if you are serious about doing a partnership or a exchange with someone, email them. Sending a casual message on Instagram or Etsy, half the time I kind of think it's a scam, and we'll get onto the scamming messages later, but it just isn't a good look. I want to see people that I partner with who are professional, who are good at what they do, and drop me a, hey, let's do this together, rather than a, hey, I've seen your stuff, I like it, this is my experience, this is links to my channel. It works a lot better, and I'm far more likely to say yes. I've just got to let my cat in the window. There, you can fit through that gap. Also, it's not like my email is hard to find, and in fact, this is it right here if you would like to email me. And please do, I encourage you. I always love meeting new people and finding new friends, but casual messages on my shop asking for things for free, probably not the best way to go about it.
Hi, I love your products. Can I share share the pictures on my Instagram page?
Yeah, of course you can. Why not?
Oh, great. I charge $50 every time I post a picture. How would you like to pay?
No, no, no. Now, this one particularly peeves me off and was actually the straw that broke the camel's back when it came to making this video, because I've kind of been sat on this script for a little while now, and this is the one that I received this morning that went, you know what, I'm filming this. This has been a pretty common scam on Instagram for, as far as I'm aware, at least a few years. The fact that it's made its way over to Etsy doesn't really surprise me. The fact that scammers even go to the effort of, rather than sending me messages, actually dropping this into my email, also a little bit annoying. Now, I'm just saying, if a scammer can find my email and email me about a absolutely totally rubbish scam deal, legitimate people can too, but this is one to be really cautious of if you are a small business or small Instagram holder. They often promise you a certain amount of follows or sales when they ask for this, and they often quote numbers such as the amount of followers they have. For instance, the account that emailed me had about 122,000 people following it, but when I clicked on their photos, their interaction was ridiculously low. Like, I'm talking less than 50 likes per photo and nearly no comments on anything. And this, for $50, really not worth my time or money. Also, please stop messaging me. I don't know how many times I have to say no before you actually get the idea that I am not doing business with you. Also, a side note here, none of the pages that I've had these emails from have anything to do with cosplay. No wonder your engagement rate is so low. You're just like all over the place. And then we come to the
I don't want to pay for that person. Can you send me your 2 corset patterns? I don't want to make them. I just want to use the patterns as inspiration to design my own.
No, no, I will not do that. And there are several reasons why, both specific to the person who sent me this message and just in general. Who the hell would even ask this? It is incredibly insulting, especially when it's digital patterns that I have worked my arse off making. It's not okay. Also, let's face it, we both know that your own work is basically just going to be a copy of my pattern, and for the account that messaged me this, I can see that you sell your own digital patterns. I can also see that you've had complaints against you, or if I look off Etsy and actually Google your name, because you've requested this from other people and then stolen their patterns and put them up on your own shop. Which, again, I'm going to say this, not okay. And like, if you're really that desperate and you really want to steal my patterns that much, my patterns are, at the moment of posting this, literally set very, very, very cheap. Like £3 to £5. Like, that is how expensive my patterns are. It's not exactly a lot. And if you can't afford to pay £3 to £5, which is the equivalent of like a cup of coffee in the UK, then no. Again, I'm going to say this. No, not happening. Go away. Not to mention that I run sales. I run sales pretty much at least once a month, if not every other month. And so if you really don't want to pay that £3 to £5 for a pattern, wait for a sale, buy it then. They normally go between £1 and £3 at that point.
Can you send me your 3D print files so that I can print them myself on my own 3D printer?
Again, the answer is no. Now, the reason that I am saying no is because my 3D print files, a lot of them I didn't create myself. I can sell the physical products, but I do not have permission to share the files. However, what I am going to say is if you actually look on the internet, 99% of my files can be found for free download online.
Why is your postage so expensive?
Okay, so I'm going to argue this one and say I don't think it is. I charge £3 to send my vintage patterns to Australia, which I can tell you right now, that is the cheapest postage you are going to find on Etsy to send anything to Australia. Just saying. When posting something to America, the minimum that I pay for postage for a 3D print is £15. I charge you 10, so you can work out where that extra money comes from. The reason I don't charge you guys the actual postage charges is because, fun fact about Etsy algorithm here, the higher my postage is, the less likely my listings are to show up in search results, which obviously damages business.
Why aren't your patterns free?
This one is an easy to answer question because they're not free on Etsy because Etsy won't let me. Genuinely, I've tried to post free patterns on there and everything has to be charged for at least £1 to £2, which means I physically cannot put free patterns on there. However, if you want to check out my Ko-Fi page, either support me on Ko-Fi or check out my Ko-Fi shop, you will find several free patterns on my Ko-Fi. Also, all the free patterns on Ko-Fi are available on Etsy just in case you don't want to use it. It's just that they are charged over there because, again, I'm not allowed to have free patterns on Etsy. I mean, honestly, the whole Etsy platform is great for beginners, but as I move forward, I'm finding out it's really not the best. However, as 50% of my business currently does come from Etsy search, I can't just leave the platform entirely thinking that it's not going to damage how I earn my money, because fun fact guys, this is my full-time job. Having said that, I genuinely think that I will never completely leave Etsy. If nothing else, I think my digital patterns will always be worth keeping on there, simply because once I've made a digital pattern, it doesn't actually require any more work, and if I receive a slightly less amount from Etsy when I sell a digital pattern than I do from my Ko-Fi or my own website when that eventually gets going, I can live with that if it means sharing them with more people and making them more readily available to anyone else who might want to use them. And next we have
the I didn't read the title, description, or look at the photo of the product that I brought.
Yes guys, this is an actual category.
Why does my vintage pattern only come in one size?
It's a vintage pattern. They do only come in one size. And I said this in the title, I said it twice in the description, and you can see it in the photos of the product. So why you're confused about this, I'm not sure, but clearly you've never brought a vintage pattern before. Totally understand. But no, I'm not going to let you return it. And before anyone starts saying it, no, it is not my fault that vintage patterns only come in one size. Most of these patterns were made long before I was born, and so I cannot be held personally responsible for the whole situation here. Just very, very irritating, to be quite honest, and I really wish people would actually read what they are buying before they click checkout.
My 3D print model is made of plastic.
Yep, I use PLA, which is a kind of plastic, and it does go through a 3D printer, meaning the 3D printer melts that plastic to then form it into the shape of the model that you have brought. I'm not 100% sure what you're confused about there. So next, the returner.
I want to return my half-painted castle that I brought 6 months ago because I dropped it today and it broke.
Okay, yes, things often do break when you drop them, and honestly, my advice here is that PLA, which all my 3D prints are made out of, is very easy to fix. Personally, my best method would be super glue. Just dab a little bit of super glue onto the break, stick it back in the right position. If there's a gap, fill that in with super glue, maybe get a small bit of sandpaper or a sanding file, file it down, paint over it. You won't even be able to see that it has broken in the past. That is the best way to fix it, and no, because you dropped it and it is half painted, you can't return it. I'm very, very sorry.
I don't want my factory folded pattern that I've already cut up and used. Can I send it back for a full refund?
And yep, someone genuinely asked me that. And guess what? The answer was no. It was no for several reasons. When you brought this 1960s pattern, it was factory folded. That means that it was still in the original condition it was when it left the factory, had not been opened, had not even been unfolded, completely unused, and now you haven't just opened it, you've cut it up, which means it's lost nearly all of its value as a factory folded pattern because it is no longer that. Secondly, if you have used it, there's nothing to say that pieces aren't missing, that pieces aren't damaged. If I get it back and something's missing, I can no longer resell it. I don't sell patterns with missing pieces on my Etsy shop. I put them into a special box, which is basically set aside to take to a car boot at some point when car boots are running, and they will be sold for probably about 50p each because people can't sew things when not all the pattern pieces are there. And then of course there is
the personalizer. Can you custom design this 3D print for me? And no, I'm not going to pay you for your time.
No, I am not going to do that. And the main reason I'm not going to do that is because I'm personally really rubbish at designing 3D prints. And if I were to pay someone to custom design a 3D print for you, then you're not going to pay me. It doesn't really make a lot of business sense. In fact, it doesn't really make a lot of sense at all. My best advice in this situation is go on to Fiverr and you will find lots of very cheap but very skilled people who are willing to do whatever 3D print you want custom designed. And then once you have the file, if you want, you can send it to me, and I do custom 3D prints. I just don't really advertise them on the Etsy shop because that's just not really the thing that we do over there, but I do them. If you're really interested, drop me an email or message on Instagram or message on the Etsy shop and we can arrange something. But no, I'm not going to design you a file, and no, that's not okay to not pay someone for their time that they're putting in for a project for you. Why would I do a job and not get paid for it? No one would do that.
Hi, I see your Thumbelina cosplay is for sale for £150. If I pay you £150, can you make me this amazing Disney Princess ballroom dress?
Let me think about that for a second, and the answer is going to be no. And the answer is no because 1, I currently do not have my commissions open. 2, no, because when I do commissions, I like to be paid for my time, and £150 is barely going to cover materials for a fancy Disney Princess ballroom dress if you want it made out of any kind of decent fabric. And no, because the reason Thumbelina and my other cosplays that are currently currently for sale on my Etsy shop are so cheap are because I made them for me, and it's just a case of I no longer really want them, and I'm not going to charge for the time that I put into a project that I did for personal use. I'm also just going to put out there that I have never actually valued any of the cosplays that I'm currently selling on my Etsy shop, not to say I won't in the future, through the amount of time I've put into them. Thumbelina, if I did have to estimate the amount of time, the corset alone must have taken at least 100 to 150 hours. So that's a £1 an hour, and I'll admit the materials for her were not that expensive, but at the same time, bit insulting telling me that my time is worth so little. It is not. My time is worth more than that, and I value myself more than that, and so the answer is no. Having said that, when this video is released, I am going to be running a sale for all my cosplays that are currently for sale. I'm pretty sure the sale is going to be 40% off, so if you do want to go over and check out my Etsy shop, the link is in the description down below because you want to buy a costume that I have made. Please do feel free. I have quite a lot of them available. Most of them are very nice and in very good condition, and I would love to see them go off to some new homes where they're actually going to get used, because I don't use any of them anymore, and that is a real shame. And then we have
the negotiators. Hi, I'm a beginner cosplayer and I can't afford to buy this costume that I really like, but I can afford to pay for the postage. Will you still send it to me?
This one I genuinely think was sent with no bad intentions, and I get it, I do. Sometimes we all struggle for money, and also the person who sent me this message I think was probably very young and probably very new to cosplay. However, like I said before, I do have sales. I can't send you the costume for free. I would like to get a little bit of my money back that I put into at least the materials for these costumes, but again, I have sales. There's one going on right now, and please do check it out in the description down below.
I really need this pattern, but I can't afford to buy it. I have these other vintage patterns. Can I just send them to you and we can swap?
Genuine question. Why does anyone think I want their vintage patterns? Plus, you wouldn't walk into a shop and say, oh, I really like this shirt you have for sale. Can I just give you the one I'm wearing now and walk out with this new one instead? I'm sorry, honey. Life just does not work that way. And I will say this one isn't a dead no. I have done pattern swaps before, but mostly with either my friends or other Etsy shop owners or with other costubers. It does happen, but when I don't know someone from Adam and they come and ask me that, it rubs me out the wrong way. I've got to be honest, it does. You know, if you want to swap something, there's a lot of Facebook groups where you can offer that, and you will probably get a response that is much better and more productive than anything I am going to say to you. Having said that, if you would be interested in taking part in a vintage pattern swap, please leave a comment down below. If there is enough interest, I am very happy to organise one, and I would really love to, because it's such a great way to connect to a small community that we have here. I just think it would be fun. At the same time, I've kind of asked about this a few times and I've never really had much of a response, so leave me a comment. If we get a lot of comments, I'll organise one, and there will be a whole video going up about that if and when it happens. And that is all that I've got for you guys today. I hope I didn't come across as too much of a bad person, but it's just one of those things that really bugs me. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, please do remember to hit that like button. It really helps me out with the algorithm, and especially because I know my talking videos do tend to do rather badly compared to my crafting ones, I would be super appreciative of it. And if you've had some weird messages on your social media or Etsy shop, please do leave them in the comments down below. Also, remember to tell me how you dealt with them, because this is a thing that I often struggle with. Is I know my answer is no, but I want to be nice to people when I send them messages back, even if they're trying to scam me. It's just one of those things. I'm English, we have manners. You know what? It's a thing. The link to my own Etsy shop is in the description down below. There is currently a sale going on, so make sure you check it out. And otherwise, I will be back next Wednesday with a crafting video this time, and so I will see you then. Have a beautiful day, guys. Bye!